how do you have a vision for a place with this many challenges? My first ministry was at the University of Illinois in Chicago, and I arrived in Chicago one late January morning after a couple blizzards had blown through the Midwest. The University of Illinois at Chicago was a commuter school, 20,000 commuters, not a residence in sight. And none of the traditional campus strategies that I was used to at Penn State would work there. Every poster we put up was torn down. We finally got to a point where we actually wore the billboards walking around the campus so that they couldn't actually be damaged. It was just a challenging year. I can remember us going, how do you have a vision for a place with this many challenges? Like, don't know how to think about it. And we were doing a little Bible study in Philippians. And in Philippians chapter 1, Paul talks about that he's in chains, but the gospel is not in chains. And we thought, what if we looked at all the obstacles as chains and realized they don't apply to the gospel? Like, what if we looked at the chains, the things that we felt were weighing us down? What if we looked at those as opportunities instead of obstacles? And we got into this brainstorming mode about, here's what's true. These students come to this campus for 4 or 5 hours a day, and where do they go? They go to work in the city, they go to their families in their city, they go to their neighborhoods in the city. If we reach them in those 4 to 5 hours, they become ambassadors every place they go. We could actually reach the city from this campus, and I'll never forget it. That passage of scripture and that resulting thing galvanized us to believe God, and we just saw the Lord answer that prayer. And over the next year or two, in my personal ministry, I had a Filipina action group, a Japanese Bible study, and a group of Polish women that I was trying to share the gospel with. And it was like watching God open doors every day to see who he would bring and how he would do it. But I'll never forget that day we were all sitting on the floor in our living room. What if we looked at the obstacles as opportunities? How would that change things if we just changed our perspective? And so it was a great example to me that might look like tough going in some of those places where the ground might still look hard. When you just look like you're slogging through and you're asking him for what seems like the impossible, to have that rare privilege to see that God had done it and was doing it and will continue to do it. And in answer to your prayer and the desire of God's own heart for people, he will show up and things will change.